Hello, everybody. Welcome to Los Altos High School for today's SCVAL baseball game between the visiting team Mountain View Spartans and the home team Los Altos Eagles. I'm Paul Cunningham. Flying solo today is my compatriot, the retired mailman Terry Ward, is on his way down I-5 to Los Angeles. So it's just me. Quickly, I'm going to go through the batting order first for Mountain View. They'll lead off their right fielder, Dan Ray. Batting second will be left fielder Sam Moore. Batting third, first baseman Matt Munoz. Will Thornton bats fourth and pitches today for Mountain View. John McAllister will bat fifth at third base. Tony Montano is the second baseman. Batting in the sixth spot, Max Gishi, the catcher, will bat seventh. Clark Applegren, shortstop, bats eighth. And Dwight Washington, the center fielder, bats ninth. On the hill for Los Altos, just about to get underway here. As home plate umpire Ed Thomas calls play ball, is Lambie Landman, and the first pitch into his battery mate catcher Max Wilbur is low for ball one. Quickly defensively, Steve Lee is in left, Thomas Kelleher is in center, Matt Bickers in right, Patrick McCall is at first, Chase Eller at second, Conrad Rogers at third, Steve McLean is your shortstop, and the second pitch of the ball game is fouled straight back into the screen. Count evens 1-1. It's like old home week here for me with all the people I'm seeing. Ed Thomas behind the plate. Dave Inigus is the umpire on the bases. Known both of them for years. Good umpires. Pitch on the corner for a strike. 1-2 the count. Dan Ray, the leadoff batter for Mountain View, played for IOOF, Babe Ruth team I coached. Max Wilbur, the catcher, same thing. New head coach for Los Altos is Donnie Ecker. He came up through the Babe Ruth program, played for me in Mountain View and All-Stars. Swing and a miss. Ray goes down on strikes. One away. And the batter will be left fielder Sam Moore. Moore, a lefty. Mountain View in their black jerseys with gold numbers and gray pants. Good looking uniforms, I like those. Pitch misses, little down, 2-0 the count to Sam Moore. Kind of a high overcast day here today. A little bit of a breeze. Nice day though, probably in the upper 60s. Very comfortable out. 2-1 the count to Sam Moore. Shot from our center field camera. Landman ready. Line shot into left field. That is through for a base hit. Nice shot by Moore to go opposite field. And Mountain View has a runner on first with one out. Another look at it here. See him wait on it a little bit and take it the opposite side. Altos will move into a double play defense. Matt Munoz, the batter, the first baseman for the Spartans, takes outside and low ball one. Wilbur checks the runner at first base. Nothing doing. Throw over to first, and back in time is Moore. Popped up foul backhand out of play. One on the count, one out, runner at first base for the Spartans here in the top of the first, just underway here at Los Altos High School. Throw over, back in time is Moore. A lot of construction going on here at Los Altos High School. Because of that, our center field camera is a little out of position from where it normally is. Landman very concerned about Moore over there at first base. Slide step. This one is fouled up into the screen. The hit and run was on as Moore was going on the pitch. Munoz fouls it off. And it's a 1-2 count with 1 out.
Came up, Lemmy, came up.
Throw back to first, and back in time is Moore. Curveball is foul tipped into the glove of Wilbur, but he couldn't hang on. So new life for Munoz. Throw over, back in time is Moore. Wind is blowing left to right, out towards the right field line. Runner goes, this one's lifted into left field. Moving over and camping under it is Steve Lee, makes the catch. Overthrows his cutoff, they're gonna try to get him at first, and they do, as apparently Moore did not locate where the ball was and didn't realize the out, and so a unconventional double play. You'll see the pop up into left field as Steve Lee goes back on it. He had plenty of time to make the catch. Not sure what Sam Moore was looking at, but you'll see him watching and then not really paying attention. The ball's caught. It's already caught, and now he realizes, hey, I got to get back, and now he is easily doubled off on the 7-4-3 to retire the side. So a base running gaff by the Spartans ends the top of the first. 1/2 inning in the books. It's no score.
My parents are really slowing down. I feel bad I can't always be there for them.
How do I choose between caring for my mother and caring for my own family?
I've been looking into the options, but Dad doesn't want to leave his home. What do I do?
Struggling to care for an aging parent? You're not alone. Learn how Home Instead Senior Care can provide the personalized in-home care your loved one needs. Home Instead. To us, it's personal.
The batting order for Los Altos, they'll lead off their shortstop, Steve McLean. Steve Lee bats second in right field. Chase Eller, the second baseman, bats third. Patrick McCall, the first baseman, bats fourth. Max Wilbur, catcher, is in the 5-hole. Matt Bicker, the right fielder, will bat sixth. Conrad Rogers, third baseman, will bat seventh. Thomas Kelleher, center fielder, bats eighth. And Lambie Landman, the pitcher, will bat ninth. Defensively for Mountain View, Sam Moore is in a left field. Dwight Washington in center. Dan Ray is in right. Around the infield, Matt Munoz at first. Tony Montano at second base. John McAllister is at third. Clark Applegren is the shortstop. Max Gishi is behind the plate, and Will Thornton, the lefty, is on the hill for Mountain View, as we are just about to start the bottom of the first inning. Steve McLean to step in. First pitch from Thornton misses. Ball one. Hit high into center field. Wasting back is Washington, and he can't get it. It's off Washington and off the wall. McLean is around second, and he is going to be into third with a stand-up triple as that ball just continued to carry. Dwight Washington went back on it and just couldn't get there, went up into the wall. Let's see if he's okay out there. Another look at it as you see McLean. That thing was letter high, and he hit it and drove it. Another shot from a different angle as you see the ball carry out there. And Dwight Washington, you'll see him drift into your picture there and dive for it. And ran into the gate out there. They're going to go out and check on him just to make sure he's okay, because he did crash into that gate out there. Kind of gave away on him, which is probably a good thing to give away, but just want to make sure he's okay. And it looks like he's going to be all right. He's kind of moving his arm around. He did go into the fence out there with his right arm. Dwight Washington, a speedster, has tremendous range out there. And that would have been a difficult catch no matter what. But then you throw the fence into it and makes things real hairy out there. But Los Altos with a runner at third base with nobody out here in the bottom of the first. And right fielder Stephen Lee will step in, come to the bat. Thornton from the stretch. Outside for a ball, 1-0. Low. 2-0. Middle infielders play back. They'll surrender a run here to get an out in the first inning. There's plenty of time to come back. 2-1 the count. Fouled back into the post next to me, and then off the post into umpire Ed Thomas. Just shakes it off. 2-2 the count. Takes high. 3-2. Little break here as Gishi on that last pitch got some dirt in his eye, and it's important that your catcher be able to see. Grounded towards second base. That'll score the run. Up with it is Montano, and he throws Lee out at first base, but Lee gets himself an RBI. And Los Altos has the first run of the ball game, take a 1-0 lead, 1 out. And the batter will be second baseman Chase Elder. Another look at the RBI ground ball as he does a nice job just making contact, putting it to the right side of the field. Good fundamental baseball. Take the ball the other way and get the run home. Curveball in there for a strike. 0-2 the count to Eller. Low. 1-2 the count. Fouled up into the screen. Count holds 1-2, 1 out. Nobody on. Here in the bottom of the first. Breaking pitch misses way out. 2-2. Sun is trying to break through here in the late afternoon. Hit hard down the left field line, and that is going to drop and get down for extra bases as around first on his way to second is Eller, and he will pull up there with a stand-up double as he crushed that one down the left field line. Sam Moore could do nothing but give chase to it. Another look at it from both angles. And you'll see all Moore could do is turn and make haste towards the ball. So a runner in scoring position for Los Altos with 1 out. Patrick McCall, the batter, the first baseman for Los Altos. And time called by McCall. So he wanted to reset in the box. Pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Big strike zone on McCall. Big kid. Strike 2. McCall only a sophomore. 6'3", 180. He's a good-sized kid. Trails 0-2 here. See if he can put this one into play. He's got to look to protect. Throw back to second base, and back in time is Eller. Ground ball down the third baseline, gloved there by McAllister, throws across the diamond in time to get McCall, but great base running by Chase Eller as he advances on the throw to first. It's going to be a long run for Ray. It's down for a base hit. Wilbur around first on his way to second. He chugs in there and is in with a stand-up double and an RBI. So Max Wilbur, first pitch swinging, goes with the pitch nicely. Gets himself an RBI and gives Los Altos a 2-0 lead. So nice job by Wilbur. And the batter is right fielder Matt Picker. Horton checks the runner. Throws home in there for a strike, 0-1. Saw Coach Donnie Ecker on that pitch kind of bend over like, wow. If he had been up, he probably would have crushed it. Looked about letter high. Checks his swing and takes. They're going to ask for help, and Dave Inigas, the base umpire, says no, there was no swing, and basically the only call that Mr. Inigas could make, as he doesn't really have an angle from out behind the mound on the shortstop side. This one is into shallow right field, and camping under it in there to make the catch is Daniel Ray. And he does so for out number 3, and that will do it for Los Altos in the bottom of the first. But they push 2 across, and they take a 2-0 lead.
Ever since we moved to the United States, Palo Alto Medical Foundation has been taking care of our health. We love our doctor. She is always ready to listen to us and is very professional and answers all our questions and is very reassuring. PAMF has been there not just for my own family but for the whole community, whether they're seeing patients or providing doctors for our free medical clinic.
Hi, I'm Ricky Appler with Spartan Sports Camp. Brought to you by the Mountain View High School Athletic Department, Spartan Sports Camp offers multi-sport camps for kids in grades 3 through 6, as well as sport-specific camps for grades 6 through 9. We give campers the opportunity to receive instruction from the Mountain View High School coaching staff and student athletes. Strength camps are also available throughout the summer. For registration info, visit our website at www.spartansportscamp.com. Sessions begin June 10th and run weekly through August 2nd. We look forward to seeing you this summer.
Ever since Dad died, taking care of Mom is overwhelming. I can't do it on my own.
Sure, my mother needs me, but I just want to be a daughter again.
Mom wants to stay in her home, but needs more help than ever. It just can't be me all the time.
Struggling to care for an aging parent? You're not alone. Learn how Home Instead Senior Care can provide the personalized in-home care your loved one needs. Home Instead. To us, it's personal.
For Mountain View, they'll send up their pitcher, Will Thornton. He'll be followed by John McAllister, the third baseman, and Tony Montano, the second baseman, as they look to rally here. Trailing by 2 here in the top of the second inning. Paul Cunningham flying solo here today. Pitch missed somewhere. 1-0 the count. Fouled back into the screen. Count evens 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Fouled out of play. Count holds 1-2. Landman out to work his second inning. It's been right around the strike zone all day. Curved ball in there, strike 3 called, and down goes Thornton. This game is brought to you by KMVT's All Sports presenting sponsor, Home Instead Senior Care. Home Instead provides the personalized in-home care your loved one needs. Home Instead, to them, it's personal. First pitch to McAllister, in there for a strike. John McAllister, the third baseman for Mountain View. Takes high, 1-1 the count. Breaking pitch. Oh, looked like a knuckleball, and it was missed barely. 2-1 the count. Pitch low. Three and 1 the count. A lot of young pitchers sometimes, when they throw an off-speed pitch or a pitch like a knuckleball or something, they come back with a fastball. Sometimes they overthrow it and come in out of the zone like Landman did there. Wow, I don't sure where it missed. Ball 4. Callister is aboard. Ed Thomas, the home plate umpire, he is very, very consistent. But sometimes his strike zone, it better be a strike or if he's going to call it. But he is very consistent. Tony Montano steps in, takes strike one, throw down to first, and back in time is McAllister. Montano with the shoes to match the uniform, which always looks good. Takes outside, 1-1 the count. He accessorizes well. Two and one. Landman needs to settle down a little bit here, working from the stretch. He's got a nice slide step when he uses it. Throw over to first, and ball gets away from McCole, but McAllister was going to be back in safely anyway. Good lead out there by McAllister. Landman comes to the plate low. 3-1, and with that, Max Wilbur will call timeout, and he wants to have a chat with his pitcher. This game is brought to you also by KMVT's All Sports presenting sponsor, the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, part of the Sutter Health Network. Choose your PAMF doctor today. So Montano stands in with a 3-1 count, looking for a pitch he can drive here and swings through it. Throw down to second base, and McAllister has it stolen and moves himself into scoring position. It's a full count to Montano. Another look at it. Good break by McAllister. And good speed getting down there. Wilbur made a good throw, but that was just a great jump by McAllister. So full count to Montano. See if he can put the ball in play here. Spin move, nobody around, and McAllister easily back in. Pitch is off home plate up into the screen, and it's going to die close to the fence, which allows McAllister to easily get down to third base. Montano draws the walk. And there's runners at the corners for Mountain View with one out. And the batter will be catcher Max Gishi. Gishi has a quick talk with his coach down at third base, Adam Petke, coach for Mountain View. Landman from the stretch. See if Montano thinks about going. First pitch swinging is Gishi. He wanted to drive that one and swung through it. 0-1 the count. Wind picks up a little bit more here in Los Altos. A bluff to third and look at first, nothing doing. Pitch is low. 1-1 the count. One out here in the top of the second inning. Mountain View with a scoring opportunity here. Pitch at the knees for a strike. 1-2 the count. The bluff, they got him picked off. Throw to second base is thrown in the dirt and off the face of the second baseman, Chase Eller. McAllister will come in and score easily as Landman spun around. We'll take another look at it. As you see him bluff to third, and then when he throws, it's a little bit of an off-balance throw, and he bounced it right into Chase Eller's, well, off the ground and into Chase Eller's face. At the same time, Montano trips over him. So McAllister will score on the error on the throw because he wasn't going until that skipped away. Montano ends up at second base. It's a 2-1 ball game, and Max Giesche is at the plate with a 1-2 count. One out, runner in scoring position at second base now for Mountain View. They trail by a run. Curveball just misses. Max Wilbur does his best to try to frame it, but it did come in a little high. 2-2 the count. Fouled straight back. And Thomas quickly protects the back of his head. He heard the pole, knew it was coming back. Two to the count. Fouled up into the fence again and bouncing out in front of. We got our picture back. It's always good to have a picture when you're televising a baseball game. One out. Wilbur and Landman apparently on the same page now. Fouled off of the leg of Giesche. Keeps the at-bat alive, but painfully. It's a good at-bat by Giesche. He refuses to go quietly into the late afternoon. Though with it being daylight savings time now, we could play for a few more hours. Low. 3-2 throwback to second base, and it skips through into center field, but Montano went into a head-first slide, and he wasn't going to be able to get up and take off and run on Kelleher. So Max Wilbur, an active catcher. He'll only a junior. He's not afraid to throw the ball, which is good in a catcher. Foul tipped into the glove of Wilbur, and Giesche finally retired on strikes after a very lengthy at-bat. 2 away. Third strikeout of the game for Landman. And the batter will be shortstop Clark Appelgren. Fouled straight back and away from the battery. 0-1 count to Appelgren. Runner out at second base represents a tying run for Mountain View. Swing and a miss as Appelgren went for one up and out of the strike zone. 0-2 the count. Misses, 1-2 the count. Applegren, a junior. Runner goes, throw down to third base is not in time as they call Montano safe at third. He gets credited with a stolen base. It was a good throw by Wilbur. Take another look at it. Wow. There's the ball. There's the tag. So I think that one was missed. Fouled up into the screen.
You got it, bud?
2-2 the count. Nice job by Wilbur to get the throw down there in a hurry, and a nice job by Conrad Rogers to apply the tag. Curveball's in there for strike 3. Down goes Applegren, down goes Mountain View as Landman strikes out the side, but not before Mountain View strikes for a run, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Conrad Rogers, Thomas Kelleher, and Lambie Landman slated for Los Altos in the bottom of the second inning. A 2-1 Los Altos lead. Shot of some of the players in the bench area for Los Altos as they look to at least try to add to their lead. Will Thornton out to work his second inning. First pitch swinging is Rogers, and he rips it down the left field line, and it'll go all the way to the fence. Rogers around first, and he'll be into second with a stand-up double. Los Altos has another look at it. As you see, again from both angles. This one down the left field line. And again, we see Sam Moore turning and running to the fence. Good thing that fence is there. Stops the ball from rolling. 4 hits now for Los Altos, all of them extra base hits, and that pitch takes the bunt away from Kelleher as he was squaring as if to bunt, and then a wild pitch comes in, allowing Rogers to advance to third. And just like that, the Eagles have a runner at third with nobody out, and Max Giesche wants to have a chat with Mr. Thornton out on the mound.
Okay, Thomas. It's out there for you.
Thomas Kelleher, the center fielder for Los Altos, takes a couple of practice swings as waits for play to get back underway, and we're ready to go. Pitch at the knees for a strike. 1-1 the count. See if Donnie Ecker has any visions of squeezing here, though with a left-handed batter you usually won't, because it's so easy for the catcher to see the runner coming. Pitch in the dirt, gets away from Giesche, but he does a nice job getting a piece of it and keeping it close by. Two and 1 the count. Fouled straight back. 2-2. Full count to Kelleher. Thornton ready. This one's lifted into left field. It should be caught by Moore. It is. The tag at third, the throw to the plate, and dead at home plate. is Conrad Rogers, as a nice throw by Sam Moore. Another look at it. See, it was a shallow fly ball in the left. Moore comes in on it, sets up well, and just makes a nice throw into the plate. And Rogers, not the swiftest of foot, is gunned down at home plate. So 2 outs, and Lambie Landman is hit and takes first base. We go back to the top of the order, and Steve McLean. McLean tripled to lead off the game for Los Altos. And not lead off the game, lead off the inning, the bottom of the first for Los Altos. Shot of Landman there at first base, talking to first base coach Joey Fulcher. Joey Fulcher, a good ball player in his own right, played here at Los Altos, same time as Donnie Ecker did. Both of them very, very good players for the Eagles. Coffee break will eventually break up because Ed Thomas is on his way out there. And indeed it does. Stephen McLean steps in. With 2 outs. McLean, a very good hitter. Takes outside ball 1. Very good all-around baseball player. One of the best here in the South Bay. Pops this one up high down the left field line, and it will drop out of play. One and 1 the count to McLean. Landman down at first. Fouled on the hit and run as Landman was going. One and 2 the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Curveball misses. Thornton thought he had it. Gishi held it out there for a minute or two, thinking that he might get the call. Sometimes that only serves to annoy the umpire if you hold it out too long. In fact, most of the time it serves to annoy the umpire. Landman back in time. McLean pops this one up behind home plate, and it's going to come down behind the stands here. And the count will hold it 2-2. Throw down to second, and they've got Landman picked off. Close to a balk, but none was called, and that'll retire the side for Los Altos. 2 in the books. It's 2-1 Eagles. Shot of some of the Spartans itching to get into the game. They trail 2-1. Dwight Washington, the batter for Mountain View here in the top of the third inning. Lambie Landman still on the mound for the Eagles. Washington takes ball one. Washington with very, very good speed. Thought about it again, takes ball two, 2-0. Takes it to knees for a strike, 2-1. This is off the plate. 3-1 the count to Washington, and someone you really don't want to walk if you can avoid it. Swing and a miss. Full count to Dwight Washington. Line drive into right field. They're going to try to get him at first, but nothing doing. As Washington turned on the afterburners right away, realizing that Matt Bicker was playing right where that ball was going to. We'll take another look at it. You see him go with it and then start to turn it on, realizing that Bicker ball was hit right to him. Washington legs it out. So leadoff runner aboard for Spartans. Daniel Ray will step in. Ray also fleet of foot. Squares as if the bunt takes outside, ball one. And there's a timeout called, and Coach Ecker wants to have a chat with his infielders, or at least with his pitcher, catcher, and third baseman. Conrad Rogers was aggressively charging when the batter would square around. I'd like to remind you that KMVT Sports would like to thank Home Instead Senior Care for their continuing support of high school sports programming. Home Instead, to them, it's personal. Coffee break is over. Dwight Washington will head back to first base. And Daniel Ray will step in. Pitch taken for a strike as Rogers came charging in even before Ray thought about squaring around. If Ray had swung, he could have killed Conrad Rogers. Rogers again, very shallow at third base, creeping, throw over to first, and Washington back in plenty of time. So strategy in play here is both teams, they want to keep Washington off second. Swing and a miss by Ray. Good cut. Just couldn't get it. 1-2 the count now to Ray. Now Rogers can play back on the dirt. As with 2 strikes, it's highly doubtful there's going to be a bunt here. Washington with a little bit of a lead at first. Throw over, back in plenty of time. Washington with great speed, but not getting a real big lead at first base. It's getting back in there very easily on the throws over. Lengthens it a little bit now. Inside to Ray. Count evens 2-2. Runner goes, pitch is low for a ball, and Washington steals second. So Washington finally did go. See the replay here. Pretty good jump, and then the head first slide in, and he's in there easily. So a full count to Dan Ray. Dwight Washington out at second base as Mountain View looks to try to tie this game up. Curveball is hit well into left field. High and deep, and it is off the wall. Washington with a late jump, and they're going to hold him at third, and Daniel Ray has himself a stand-up double. Not a very good read by Dwight Washington on the fly ball. Another look at it as you see Ray hit it hard. It was not going to be caught. It was going to come off the wall, but Washington stayed near second base, and once he decided to go, he was unable to make it to the plate. So runners at second and third. The infield will play in for Mountain View. For Los Altos. Sam Moore, the Mountain View batter, singled in his first plate appearance, and now has a chance to really do some damage with that drawn-in infield. Amby Landman works from the windup. There's nobody out. Runners at second and third. Popped up. Wilbur has a beat on it, and Wilbur makes the catch. Nice play by Max Wilbur to get rid of that mask and hang in there to make the catch. One away. Batter is Matt Munoz. Munoz flied out to left field in his first plate appearance. And a fly ball again would probably tie this game up with one out. Runners at second and third. The infield remains in for Los Altos. And a pitch out, thinking that maybe Munoz might be thinking about a squeeze. Nothing doing. Curveball is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Nice pitch by Landman. Pitch on the corner for a strike. 1-2. Breaking pitch gets past Wilbur. Washington on his way to the plate, and he will score. As that pitch, that wild pitch in the dirt, got away from Wilbur. Daniel Ray will advance to third base. Another look at it as you see the breaking pitch slips down in the dirt and gets away on a wicked hop past Wilbur. Allows Ray to advance to third, and Munoz now with a fly ball could put Mountain View in the lead. Time called. Matt Munoz, the first baseman for the Spartans. Curveball grounded towards McLean. He's got it, he throws to the plate. Wilbur has it, and Ray is dead at home plate as he broke on contact, and McLean made him pay for that. So he was out by 25 feet. Another look at it, and you'll see the ground ball. Well, there was the tag as Wilbur just had to wait for Ray to come in. Munoz gets on the fielder's choice. Another look there. Better look at it as McLean just gobbled it up. And that pitch gets away, and Munoz advances to second base. So both teams now have had runners thrown out at the plate. Will Thornton, the batter, he struck out in his first at bat. Curveball misses. 2-0 the count to Thornton. Curveball that one in there for a strike. 2-1 the count. On the corner for a strike, 2-2. So Lambie Landman battling back here. Facing his counterpart, Will Thornton. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Thornton and down go the Spartans, but they push across a run. We've played 2.5. We're tied at 2. Bottom of the third, shot of some of the crowd there, including Steve McLean's mother. As he will lead off the bottom of the third, as he was at home plate when Lambie Landman was picked off of first base. So he gets a fresh count. See if he takes advantage. High ball 1. Very, as we said earlier, very comfortable day out here. Outside, 2-0.
You want a Gatorade?
3-0 to McLean. Pitch was up. Off the glove and ball 4 to McLean. So he draws a walk, leadoff runner aboard, and that usually does not bode well when he put the leadoff man on. Last inning, Dwight Washington led off, getting on base for Mountain View, came around to score. And last time McLean was up, he hit the triple, came in to score. Steve Lee, the batter, grounded out to second base in his first at bat and picked up the RBI, bringing in Steve McLean. One another count. Throw over to first, nothing doing. Pitch in there, belt high for a strike. 1-1 the count. Low, 2-1. Popped up foul and out of play. 2-2 the count. Shot of McLean down at first base. Chatting with Matt Munoz. Thornton throws over. McLean is back in plenty of time. Runner goes and fouled at the plate as that went off of Gishi. And he was dropping to his knees to cover the pitch because he saw it was coming in low and he wanted to smother it. And as he went down, Lee swung and foul tipped it where there's no protection. Got him on the, I think on the thigh or right around the knee and thigh area, which is painful. Two and two the count to Stephen Lee. McLean had second base stolen too. He had a good jump. See if Thornton throws over now. He's got a big lead. Doesn't go. Line drive over the head of the second baseman, Tony Montano, and McLean will hold at second base as Lee has himself a single. And that's the first single of the ball game for Los Altos. All the rest of their hits have been extra base hits, so they can hit a single. Batter is Chase Eller. Eller doubled in his first at bat. Double now would get him at least one RBI. Squares to bunt, pushes it up the first baseline. Nice bunt as Munoz, all he can do is stand there and tag out Eller. So the sacrifice bunt is successful. Runners advance to second and third. And the batter will be Patrick McCall. Cole grounded out to third base in his first at bat, and now there's going to be a discussion with the umpire. Coach Petke out there to have a little chat with Dave Venegas. All's right with the world. And McCall will step in now. Now timeout. Now seems to be a little more chatting going on, and umpire Dave Venegas is known for letting coaches know exactly how he feels. It's his way of venting. He is vented now. Runners at second and third. One out. Cole steps in. First pitch is down the third baseline, gloved by McAllister. Tries to pick it up and throw and can't. A great stop by McAllister. It saved a second run from coming in. McLean scores easily, but Lee has to hold at second base as McAllister did some nice glove work there. Another look at it. As he gloves it, and then as he pops up, it comes out of his glove on the throw, and he could not complete the throw. Tough call because of the play he made. We're going to give an infield hit to McCall. She'll put runners at first and second. Pushes Los Altos back into the lead 3-2, and the batter will be catcher Max Wilbur. Wilbur has a double and an RBI to his credit here today. And Wilbur will call timeout as he tires of waiting in the box. So Mountain View ties it up in the top of the third. In the bottom of the third, Los Altos takes the lead again. Double play ball to short, to second for one, to first. Not in time as Wilbur legs it out. McCall is retired on the 6-4 at second base. Lee advances to third. Wilbur with the fielder's choice. Another look at it. It was a slowly hit ground ball that Appelgren waited on rather than charging, and it cost him as they couldn't turn the double play. Puts runners at first and third, and Matt Bicker is the batter for Los Altos. Bicker flew out to right field. Wilbur, his first pitch running, Gishi unable to get the ball out of his glove. And runners at second and third now for Los Altos. And 0-1 the count to Matt Bicker.
Come on, bud. Jump to the pond now, baby.
Curveball misses away. 1-1. Pitch misses outside. 2-1 the count. Thornton peers in for the sign. High chopper towards second base, gloved by Montano, who throws on to first in time to retire Bicker, and that will do it for Los Altos in the bottom of the third. We've played 3 complete. Eagles in the lead, 3-2. Top of the fourth inning, you see that the Eagles have built a lead, much as they've built buildings in center field. It's a 3-2 lead. John McAllister will lead off for the Spartans, though, as he tires of the Eagles being in the lead. Takes one on the corner for a strike, 0-1. McAllister will be followed by Tony Montano and Max Gishi. A growing crowd here at Los Altos as people get off work and spring football practice has ended and some of the players have come out. 0-2 the count to McAllister. Pitch from Landman is low and away. 1-2 the count. McAllister, only a junior. Curveball in there, strike 3 called, and down goes McAllister. Sixth strikeout of the game for Landman. Look at the standings here of the SCVL De Anza division. Wilcox, Saratoga, Mountain View, Palo Alto, Homestead, all with only 1 loss. And Los Altos, 1-2, but looking to rectify that here today. And currently they're in the process of doing that. First pitch to Tony Montano, drew Ed Thomas up almost into the strike position, and then at the last minute decided no, not going to call that one. Misses again, 2-0. One out, nobody on for the Spartans here in the top of the fourth. 3-0 the count to Tony Montano. Montano walked in his first plate appearance. He's yet to have an official at bat, and he is 3/4 of the way to drawing a second walk. Ball 4. Tony Montano has done just that. Bat will be catcher Max Gishi. Outside, 1-0. Pitch in there for a strike. Count evens 1-1, 1 out. Runner at first. Throw over to first, and back in time is Montano. Landman peers in. Line drive, shallow center field, drops in for a base hit. Montano advances to second. Gishi has his first hit of the ball game. And Mountain View has runners at first and second with one out, and the batter will be shortstop Clark Applegren. Another look at it, and a nice shot. It was soft liner into center field. Squares to bunt. Takes a curveball for a strike, 0-1. Curveball again for a strike. 0-2 the count. Nice break on that one by Landman. Lined into right field for a base hit. Throw towards second is... That one almost had a play at first base. Take another look at it here as he hit it hard right towards the right fielder. Charging in was Bicker. McCole didn't go back to first. The throw to second was close, but not in time. So the bases are loaded for Mountain View with one out, and the batter is Dwight Washington. Washington singled in his first plate appearance, takes a curveball for a strike, 0-1. Washington came around to score the second run of the game for Mountain View. Now he has a chance to drive in a bundle if he can get a big hit here. Landman from the windup, spin play, and back in time is Gishi. Landman now from the stretch. Curveball misses. 1-1 the count. Popped up, foul back and out of play. 1-2. Curveball, not actually more of a knuckleball, grounded into the hole. It's short. Klein dives for it, knocks it down. Can't come up with it, but a run will come in. Base hit for Dwight Washington. Another look at it. And you see McLean does a nice job just keeping it from going into the outfield and potentially keeping a second run from scoring. One run is pushed across. Washington has an RBI. We are tied at 3, and that will do it for Lambie Landman. So a break in the action here in the top of the 4th. We're tied at 3. Trevor Rogers on to pitch for Los Altos and has his work cut out for him as there is one out. The bases are loaded. Oh, and he's got to face the top of the Mountain View order in Dan Ray. Ray is 1 for 2 with a double. First pitch swinging, pops this one up into right field, getting a beat on it. Camping under it is Bicker. Runners tag, but nobody's going, and then Washington wanders too far off first base. They got him in a rundown. They tag him out on the double play as Dwight Washington gets picked off. Another look at it, as you'll see the pop up into right field. And it was shallow as Matt Bicker came in on it. And then you'll see Washington wander into the picture, realizing that, hey, nobody's tagging. Alertly, Rogers comes in, or excuse me, McCole comes in and gets him into the rundown. And Mountain View runs himself out of a potential big inning. We have played 3.5. We are tied at 3.
The doctor with questions gave us assurance that they do take an interest in the patients. That's why we've been with Penn for more than 10 years and keep adding members, the newest member.
Hi, I'm Ricky Appler with Spartan Sports Camp. Brought to you by the Mountain View High School Athletic Department, Spartan Sports Camp offers multi-sport camps for kids in grades 3 through 6, as well as sport-specific camps for grades 6 through 9. We give campers the opportunity to receive instruction from the Mountain View High School coaching staff and student athletes. Strength camps are also available throughout the summer. For registration info, visit our website at www.spartansportscamp.com. Sessions begin June 10th and run weekly through August 2nd. We look forward to seeing you this summer.
New pitcher for Mountain View is John McAllister, comes from third base, first base, and you see, the pitcher, shot of him there. Dwight Washington moves from center field to third base, and Will Thornton, the pitcher, goes out to center field, and we're up to date with regards to the changes for Mountain View. At least I believe we are. For Los Altos, Conrad Rogers, Thomas Kelleher, and Trevor Rogers will come to the plate. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, tied at 3. Max Giesche just going through the signs with John McAllister to make sure they're both on the same page. That'll be page 7 for those of you at home trying to follow along. First pitch in there to Rogers for a strike, 0-1. McAllister was a pretty good pop on the ball. Pitch is low. 1-1 the count. Curveball in there for a strike, 1-2. Ground ball through shortstop and into left field. Hard hit ball. We'll give Rogers credit for a single. Let's take a look at it again. We'll judge the scoring on it. It's hit hard to the shortstop, and you know what? That's an error. Sorry, I can't give anybody a hit on that. Through the glove of Clark Appelgren. It was a one-hopper to short. Hard hit, but right at him. Should have been caught. I think Mr. Appelgren would agree with me. Pitch in the dirt, throw down to first base. Nice job blocking the ball by Munoz. Batter is Thomas Kelleher. Takes for a ball, 2-0. Kelleher's showing bunt, but has taken pitches, 2-0. Takes ball 3, throw down to first, and back in time is Rogers. Three, the count to Kelleher. Takes high, ball 4. And Kelleher draws the walk. Puts runners at first and second with nobody out. And it'll be Trevor Rogers who's entered the game to pitch, and I would guess that there's a good chance Rogers may be bunting here. Got a new third baseman in Dwight Washington, who's coming from center. And with that, there will be a coffee break. KMVT Sports presenting sponsor is the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, part of the Sutter Health Network. Choose your PAMF doctor today. So Mountain View wanting to talk about this defensively as we get a panoramic shot here of the Los Altos High School baseball field, a very well manicured field. They take outstanding care of it. I'm glad to see that new coach Donnie Ecker is carrying on the tradition that former coach Sandy Whittle put in and really making this a first-class field that is very well maintained. Rogers will step in. Let's see if he does square to bunt. Washington is in a little bit at third base. Munoz is ready to charge at first. He squares, he lays it down, and it's a foul ball. Bunted it in the right direction. The runners were getting a good jump, just couldn't keep it fair. Owen won the count to Trevor Rogers. Squares early to bunt. Bunts it down, nice bunt down the third baseline. Washington has only one play, and that is to retire Trevor Rogers at first. An excellent bunt by Rogers. Advances the runners into scoring position for the leadoff man, Steve McLean. Another look at it, and you'll see it perfectly deadened down, and Washington with only one play option, and that was to go to first. And now the star of the Eagles scored twice here today, has a triple and a walk, scored 2 of their 3 runs, and now has a chance to drive in a couple with a single.
Ball players stay on the cement.
Pitch in the dirt is blocked nicely by Gishi. Kept a run from scoring there. Want to know the count to McLean. They have an open base, so they may attempt to pitch around him just a little bit, or at least not get him anything fat to hit. Outside, 2-0. Popped up into shallow right field. Daniel Ray calls for it. There's no real communication as Montano goes back. So apparently Ray didn't call him off. Montano able to make the catch, but you really got to communicate better than that. So no sac fly there. Yeah, the batter will be Stephen Lee. Lee is 1 for 2 on the day. He has an RBI. And John McAllister trying to pitch his way out of a jam here. Pitch outside, ball one. On the corner for a strike. 1-1 to count. Curveball in there for a strike. 1-2. Low. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss, strike three. Lee goes down, as do the Eagles. We have played 4 complete. We are tied at 3. Sam Moore, Matt Munoz, and Will Thornton scheduled for Mountain View here in the top of the 5th inning of a tie game. Identical lines across, well, at least according to the scoreboard. Moore is 1 for 2 on the day. He singled in the first and popped out to the catcher back in the 3rd inning. Three and the count to Sam Moore. Trevor Rogers still on the hill for Los Altos, working his 2nd inning. Came on in relief of Lambie Landman. Ball 4. And Sam Moore draws a 4-pitch walk. And as I said earlier, bad things happen when you put a leadoff man on board, especially when you put him on for free. Matt Munoz, the batter, 0 for 2 on the day. Throw over to first, and back in time is Moore. Munoz fakes the bunt and takes for a ball. 1-0 the count. With that, catcher Max Wilbur wants to have a chat with Mr. Rogers. Seems all is okay in the neighborhood. Throw over, and Morgan back in plenty of time. Squares as if and now takes for a strike. 1-1 the count. I think I've noticed about Mountain View that's different than a lot of high school teams that I've seen over the years is they're on their third base coach. I don't know if they rotate the coaches around, but This is their different third base coach since the game has begun. Don't see that very often. Pitch is on the corner for a strike. 1-2 the count to Munoz. The signs always come from the manager to the batter. Adam Petke gives the signs, but they have rotated their third base coach. Good lead over there by Moore, and Rogers wants to keep him closer. Munoz check swings it and grounds it foul down the first base line. So Sam Moore will trot back to first. Nobody out, 1-2 count to Matt Munoz. Popped up into shallow center field. Calling for it in there to make the catch is Thomas Kelleher. And Munoz flies out for out number 1, and the batter will be the now center fielder, Will Thornton. Throw to first. Back in plenty of time is Moore. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 the count to Thornton. Thornton is 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out twice. Throw back over to first. Moore back in plenty of time. Fouled over towards the third base dugout. 0-2 the count to Thornton. Moore back again in plenty of time. And now Wilbur wants to talk to his pitcher again. Line shot into left field, but right at Stephen Lee. He's there to make the catch for out number 2. So the ball was hit hard by Thornton, right at the left fielder. And the batter will be John McAllister. McAllister 0 for 1 on the day. He has walked and come around to score, and he has struck out. Throw over to first. Moore with his 2-step lead gets back in time again. Trevor Rogers very concerned about Sam Moore at first. And it's not like Moore's getting huge leads. Pitch misses, ball 1.
All right, bud.
2-0. 3-0. Pitch in there for a strike. 3-1 the count. Two outs, runner at first here in the top of the fifth. Ball 4. So McAllister draws a 2-out walk. Puts runners at first and second, and the batter will be Tony Montano. Montano does not have an official at bat yet. He has walked twice. He's come around to score once. Pitch is high, ball 1. Rogers struggling to find the strike zone now.
Nice stop, Max.
2-0 the count.
Come on, Max.
And Rogers, when he misses right now, is missing badly. Swing and a miss. 2-1 the count to Montano.
Go, Trevor.
Three and 1 the count. Way outside, nice stop by Wilbur to keep the runners from advancing. 3-1, ball 4, I'm sorry. So the bases are loaded on back-to-back walks. Every base runner on via the walk this inning. And the batter will be Max Gishi. Gishi is 1 for 2. He has struck out and he has singled. Ooh, first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Fisted out towards second base, and right there is Chase Eller to make the catch, and the Eagles dodge a bullet. We are out of the top of the fifth, 4.5 in the books. We remain tied at 3. Chase Eller, Patrick McCall, and Max Wilbur slated for Los Altos here in the bottom of the 5th inning. John McAllister on the hill for Mountain View. First pitch outside, ball 1 to Chase Eller. Eller is 1 for 1 on the day with a double. He came around to score. Laid down a nice sacrifice bunt in his second plate appearance. Pitch on the corner for a strike. 1-1 the count. Swing and a miss. Pulled his head on that one and goes down on strikes. 1 away. And the batter will be Patrick McCall. McCall is 1 for 2 on the day. Excuse me, that was not strike 3. guess I misread his body language. He flew out to left field. That one gloved there by Sam Moore. So either way, he's out. I just got a little ahead of myself. One away. It's always better to pay attention to the game than be looking at your scorecard. Now McColl's batter. First pitch is off the front of the plate. Pops up into the screen. 1-0 the count. Pitch at the knees for a strike. 1-1 the count. Two and one the count to McCall. Cole's 0 for 2 on the day, grounded out to, 1 for 2 on the day, grounded out to third and then singled. Hits it down the third baseline. Joey Fulcher there to make the play. Makes it look easy.
Let's go, Patty. Come on now. Let's go 3-0.
0 Lifted into center field. Long run for Thornton, and he is there to make the catch. For out number 2, and that'll bring up catcher Max Wilbur. Coach Donnie Ecker wants to have a little chat with Wilbur. Probably telling him, Max, if you wanted to put one onto the tennis courts, now would be a good time. Not that there's ever a bad time to put one on the tennis courts. The key is putting it onto the courts in fair territory. Wilbur bluffs a bunt. There's no way he's going to reach the tennis courts by bunting. Two and 0. I'm not sure if he was faking the bunt to try to maybe draw Dwight Washington in at third base. But Washington was having none of that as he's playing behind the bag at third, knowing how hard Max Wilbur can hit the ball. Two and 1 the count to Wilbur.
Right up the middle, bud. Right up the middle. Right there. Come on now.
Three and 1. Breaking pitch is hit well to left field. High, deep, and gone onto the tennis courts, just as the coach ordered. Max Wilbur takes one out of here for a home run. And just like that, Los Altos is in the lead 4-3. Another look at it. Just a nice, sweet swing by Wilbur. He knew it. As soon as he hit it, picked up a little bit of speed on his way to first, thinking, well, what if it goes off the wall? But then it cleared the fence, and all is right with the world after that. Another look, and Nothing feels better than something like that. Matt Bicker, the batter. Bicker is flown out to right and grounded out to second. Gone to the right side both times he's been up. 1-1 to count. Two and 1 to count. Swing and a miss. 2-2. On the outside corner, strike three called. Down goes Bicker, and down go the Eagles, but not before they strike for a run, and they take a 4-3 lead at the end of 5.
Hi, I'm Ricky Appler with Spartan Sports Camp. Brought to you by the Mountain View High School Athletic Department, Spartan Sports Camp offers multi-sport camps for kids in grades 3 through 6, as well as sports-specific camps for grades 6 through 9. We give campers the opportunity to receive instruction from the Mountain View High School coaching staff and student athletes. Strength camps are also available throughout the summer. For registration info, visit our website at www.spartansportscamp.com. Sessions begin June 10th and run weekly through August 2nd. We look forward to seeing you this summer.
Sign up today.
Clark Applegren, the batter for Mountain View. First pitch swinging, hits it right over to Chase Eller. Eller on the way to first base, and Patrick McCall, and that will retire Clark Applegren on the 4-3. So one away, and the batter will be Dwight Washington. Washington is 2 for 2 on the day. He has an RBI. He's also scored a run, has a stolen base. Takes at the knees for a strike, 0-1. Popped up. Long run by Wilbur. Goes into a slide and cannot come up with it. Good hustle by both Max Wilbur and Trevor Rogers to get after that. Oh, to the count to Washington. Ground ball towards shortstop. McLean charges it, has it, throws across his body in time to retire Washington. He knew he was going to have to hustle and make that throw, and makes a very athletic play to retire Dwight Washington. 2 away, and the batter will be Dan Ray. Top of the 6th inning. A 4-3 Los Altos lead. First pitch misses to Ray. 1-0. Outside 2-0. Popped up. Back. Wilbur thinks maybe.
That's for you, Bo.
Ball goes out of play. Narrowly missing, assassinating yours truly here, the announcer. Two and two the count. And Ed Thomas wants track of the count. He's just verifying that it's 2 and 2. It's 2 and 1. I'm sorry, 2 and 1 is the count. So good job by our home plate umpire to step away and make sure they had the right count. Fouled right back towards me again. This time with the screen in front of me, knew I was safe. Feeling picked on all of a sudden. Two and two the count, 2 outs, nobody on. Popped up again. Good towards the crowd and falls to the ground. Well into left field, going back and under it to make the catch is Stephen Lee. And Daniel Ray is retired on the F7 for out number 3, and that's a 1-2-3 inning, our first one of the ball game. We've played 5.5, 4-3, Los Altos. Some of the track team working out over there, actually working on their field event. So I do see a baton, so that would be a track event on the relay. But I digress because we're back to baseball. Conrad Rogers, Thomas Kelleher, and Trevor Rogers slated for the Eagles here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Excuse me, bottom of the 6th inning. I was going back in time briefly. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1 to Conrad Rogers. Rogers is 1 for 2 on the day. He has a double. Pops this one foul up and out of play. Oh, 2 the count to Rogers. Fisted, popped up, over and out of play. On top of the Los Altos dugout. Hit hard into the gap in right center field, and Ray over there to cut it off. Quickly gets it back in to the infield and holds Conrad Rogers to a single. Nice job by Daniel Ray to get there. Another look at it. Maybe not. Lost our picture. Now we'll search for it. There we go. A little, wow. Sort of like a rap song. See it headed for the gap, but Daniel Ray with good speed got over there in time to cut it off. The batter is Thomas Kelleher. Looks to bunt. Beautiful bunt out in front of home plate. Throw down to first is in time to retire Kelleher. But you can't bunt it any better than that. Almost got a single out of it. Instead has the sacrifice on the 1-3. 1 out, and the batter will be Trevor Rogers. Excuse me, Daniel Peffley will be the batter.
1-8, batting for 1-7. 1-8 for 1-7.
Daniel Peffley, a former player for IOOF in Mountain View, Babe Ruth. Mentioned earlier, was a team I've been coaching for many, many, many years. We'll see if Peffley can come up and drive a run home for the Eagles. Peffley only a sophomore. And getting an opportunity here to play a big run for Los Altos. Looking ahead for Mountain View in the top of the 7th, they will have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters up. So the heart of their order will come up in the 7th inning. They want to keep this a one-run game if they at all can. First pitch to Peffley is blocked by Gishi. Throw down to third is a tough throw, gets past Washington. Getting up and on his way to the plate is Rogers, and he will score the insurance run. As Gishi did a great job blocking it, but then made a tough throw to third. Another look, you'll see it hit in the dirt. He does a nice job blocking, picks it up, throws down, and throws it about 80 feet of the 90 feet, and the throw skips past Dwight Washington, and Rogers scores on the throwing error by the catcher. Peffley pops this one up, foul down the right field line and into the bullpen, where the new Los Altos pitcher is warming up. Not sure who it is at the moment, but there will be another pitcher for Los Altos to close the game out. They've now got a 2-run lead. Peffley, a strong kid, has some good pop and has good speed. Takes low. 2-1. Lifts this one into center field. It'll drop down for a base hit, and Peffley has himself a single. This game is brought to you by Home Instead Senior Care. Home Instead, to them, it's personal. We go back to the top of the order, and now there will be a timeout called and a trip to the mound. We'd also like to let you know that the Palo Alto Medical Foundation is one of our sponsors. Choose your PAMF doctor today. So Daniel Peffley will be at first base. A chat at the mound by Mountain View. They certainly don't want to fall any further behind. So just discussing their defensive options as they now trail here by 2 runs. These two teams played earlier this week, and Mountain View able to come away with a victory on their field. And Los Altos looking to do the same thing here. Back to the top of the order, it's Steve McLean. McLean is 1 for 2 on the day. He has a triple. He scored 2 runs. And he'll try to add on even some more insurance here for Los Altos. First pitch is at the corner for a strike, 0-1. Throw over to first, and back in time is Peffley. Pitch is low in the dirt. Great read by Peffley. Takes off for second, and he is in there on the wild pitch. Wouldn't give him a stolen base only because he read it as the pitch was on the way and saw it going in the dirt and took off for second. Nice job by Peffley to read that. Moves himself into scoring position. Outside. 2-1 the count. Pitch in the dirt. Nice job by Gishi to go ahead and block that. Gishi's worked very hard behind the plate today. It hasn't been an easy day for him. But he's done a nice job back there. Three and one the count to McLean. Low ball 4, and probably the best thing they could do there with first base open. Don't want to give McLean an opportunity to push you further behind. So Stephen Lee will step to the plate. Lee is 1 for 3 on the day. Has a single, has an RBI. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Outside, ball 1. And McAllister may be tiring a bit here. Doesn't have the pop on the ball that he did, and struggling a little bit on the hill right now. Swing and a miss. Comes back well with that fastball. 1-1 the count to Lee. See if Los Altos thinks of running it all here with a 2-run lead. Outside, 2-1. Peffley not getting a real big lead at second, but he does have some good speed. Coach Checker not going through any signs, so they're probably just going to take it easy here and take what they can get with the bat. Fouled up into the screen. It'll rattle around a bit. Sounds like thunder on our TV. 2-2 the count to Steve Lee. Swing and a miss, and down goes Lee. So 2 outs. And the batter will be Chase Eller. Eller's 1 for 2 on the day with a double. Has a sacrifice bunt to his credit. Hits this one well into right field. Ray's going to get on his horse, and he's there to make the catch for out number 3. So nice play by Daniel Ray out in right field. That will do it for Los Altos in the bottom of the 6th. We've played 6 complete, 5-3 Los Altos. Top of the 7th inning. And James Olson is on to pitch for Los Altos and close this game down. Olson a lefty. Sam Moore the batter. Takes strike 1. Moore's 1 for 2 on the day. He has a single, popped up to the catcher, and then he's walked. Curveball in there for a strike. 0-2. Curveball is up, 1-2 the count. Pitch strike 3 called, and down goes Moore. 1 out. And the batter will be Matt Munoz. Munoz 0 for 3 on the day. He flew out to left, got on a fielder's choice, and flew out to center. Pitch rides in high, ball 1. Swing and a miss. Nice fastball there by Olson. 1-1 the count. Foul tipped into the glove of Max Wilbert. 1-2 the count. Hit hard but foul down the right field line. Curveball's fouled back into the screen. Count holds 1-2. Curveball is lifted into right field. Making the catch is Chase Eller. Is sliding in behind him was Matt Bicker. And Eller able to hang on. Somebody's going to, once again, we talked about communication earlier, and you got to communicate on those things. I think Eller was probably calling for it as he was twisting and pirouetting and doing everything he could to get to it. 2 outs. Will Thornton is the batter. It's Mountain View down to their last out. Pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Max Wilbert looking for the crazy glue. Go ahead and try to keep the ball in. It's always frustrating for a catcher when you kind of don't hang on to a strike and then you go to pick it up and you can't hang on to the ball then either. Curveball is a chopper. Grounded towards third. Up with it is Conrad Rogers across the diamond in time to retire Will Thornton. And that will do it for Mountain View, and that'll do it for this ball game as Los Altos comes out and comes away with a 5-3 victory. A little bit of payback for the game they lost to Mountain View earlier in the week, so they split on the week. 5 runs on 8 hits, 1 error for Los Altos, 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for Mountain View. We'd like to thank our producer-director, Bobby Chastain, our camera crews of Tim Erskine, Renee Mendoza, Janet Wu, and special thanks to Los Altos High School for allowing us to come out here and bring you this telecast. If you'd like to get a copy of any DVD contest, you can go to kmvt15.org/sports and order a copy. For all of us here at KMVT, I am Paul Cunningham. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Couple of weeks. Yeah. All right, buddy. Talk to you. Bye.